Gotta get the thumbnail. Okay, starting the video out sweaty. Not a great idea because I straightened my hair today. My hair is naturally curly, so when I sweat, it curls. So my curling iron broke, so I figured I'd straighten my hair, and then it looked kind of wonky because I haven't had my hair cut in like a year. So then I cut my own hair, which I've never done before, but hi friends, this is Laura, aka Lulu Sketches. For today's video, I'm going to show you all of my art books, my entire art book collection. I get so many questions about what art books I have. Usually right after I've posted like a big speed paint, people will ask me what book I read to learn how to draw like that. I'm sure there's books out there that teach you how to draw, but those aren't the kind of art books that I have. I am way too stubborn and impatient to read a book to learn how to draw or even follow a tutorial. I make tutorials, but I hate watching them. So none of these books are going to teach you how to draw, but you can learn a lot about animation from these books, and they're just all very inspiring to look at. First on my list is the Animator Survival Kit. If you guys watched my New Year's resolution video, you know that I wanted to learn to animate this year, and I have been doing that. It's been really fun. I've been working in TV Paint. I never really read this book, I kind of just had it because I heard it was one of those books you should get as an artist, but I just started reading it. So I'm still near the beginning, but it goes over all the technical terms in animation, and it explains timing and time charts and squash and stretch and all those fun things that you've probably heard of already. Ow. So this book is very helpful if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of 2D animation. Next, The Illusion of Life. This book is heavy. This is another one of those books that everyone in animation kind of just has, so I felt like I should buy it. I got this book once I started working at Disney because it's about the 9 old men. This book is written by 2 of the 9 old men, Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not read this book. There is some technical stuff like the principles of animation, but it's also just a lot about Disney and history. Okay, next on my list is The Legend of Zelda: Hyrule Historia. This is a Zelda art book, which is very exciting. Art from a lot of the games is in this book. Just a heads up, I didn't know this when I got it. Almost the whole first half of the book is just Skyward Sword because they released this book like I think right after Skyward Sword came out or something. And Skyward Sword was not my favorite game. I played Skyward Sword, I beat Skyward Sword, but I always go back and replay all the Legend of Zelda games, and Skyward Sword is just not one that I would play again, probably. I found it extremely stressful. But if you get halfway through the book, there is actually art from Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. But one thing I don't like about this book is that there's no credit given to the artists. I mean, I would like to know who those artists are so I can actually look them up online and find more of their artwork, but it's still a beautiful book. Playing Ocarina of Time in elementary school was one of the reasons I wanted to become a character designer. So Zelda is just so inspiring to me and just like a huge part of my childhood and my life today. Woo! The next art book is The Art of Princess Mononoke. This is probably my favorite Hayao Miyazaki film. My top 3 are definitely Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and Howl's Moving Castle. But this was the art book I wanted. Princess Mononoke has some of my favorite designs. Here's some of the background paintings. Whew, it's beautiful. Beautiful. So if you're into Princess Mononoke and Miyazaki films in general, their art books are really beautiful. Next is a collection of background paintings from some Ghibli films. This is the Oga Kazuo art collection. It's all in Japanese, so if you want to order it online, this is what the cover looks like. And this is another one. It's also an Oga Kazuo animation artwork book, and the cover looks like this. This one has some artwork from Spirited Away. Here's artwork from Princess Mononoke. And this one has a whole section on My Neighbor Totoro. And it also has black and white layouts in here. So if you're into Miyazaki films or Studio Ghibli in general and want to see some of those background paintings nicely printed out, these are what the books look like. I got them from Amazon. I'm gonna save my favorites for last, so I'm gonna skip some of these. I just picked like 7 as my favorites. Oh no, this one's my favorite too. 8. Now we're getting into the art of books. You've probably seen these before in stores. They just contain visual development for the film. They'll have character design, visual development, storyboards, color keys, color scripts. First, let's get this one out of the way. Frozen, of course I have the art of Frozen. My favorite Viz Dev drawings, I think, for Frozen were by Minkyu Lee and also Cory Loftus. I think some of them might be in here. Oh, here we go. Here's some of Minkyu Lee's designs. I really love this. Some of my favorite Viz Dev were these drawings that Minkyu Lee did of Kristoff and Anna in the snow, but I don't actually think they're in this book. Oh wait, here's one. Here's one here. This is Kristoff carrying Anna. So there's some really great art in there if you're a fan of Frozen. The next book I have is The Art of Inside Out. The character designs are really great in this movie. Honestly, this movie isn't one of my favorites. I know a lot of people love this movie, so don't hate me. I love the designs in this movie though. Here's one of the character designs and the expressions. This was my favorite character design from the movie. They're all really good designs. There's like living room concepts. I always love it when they show interiors of rooms, background characters. So there's great art in there. Next is the art of Big Hero 6. I love this movie. I love that they show how they built the whole world. Oh, amazing paintings by Ryan Lang in here. There's another painting by Ryan Lang. A lot of character design in this one by Jin Kim and Shiun Kim. Here's just a whole page of Shiun Kim. I love Shiun Kim's art. This is just a really solid art of book. Next is the art of Moana. This is another one of my favorite movies. There's some really amazing environment paintings by Ryan Lang. And I really love the character design in this movie. Here's a page just for Pua. Pua is the pig in Moana. He barely had any screen time. I wish he was in the rest of the movie. He was so cute. And actually, one of my really good friends worked on this movie. I've talked about him before, Bobby Pontius, and he made it into the book. Bobby Pontius! He designed all these village kids. Now we're on to my top favorite art books. First, we'll start with The Art of Up. This is just a classic. I love the way that they use shapes in this movie. These are just some of my favorite character designs in any movie. The designs of Carl's house, color scripts. These are some of my favorite drawings right here of Carl. They're by Daniel Lopez Munoz, but they talk about shape language at the beginning. Each of these characters is a simple shape. Next is The Art of Ratatouille. This movie's brilliant, this book is brilliant, everything is gorgeous. Actually, when I used to live in France, I went to a Pixar art show. I saw a bunch of the original art from Ratatouille. We weren't even allowed to take pictures in there. I just love the Viz Dev for this movie. I think some of Carter Goodrich's designs are in this book. He's one of my favorite character designers ever. I love Carter Goodrich. Let me show you if I can find any. Oh yeah, here's an example of a Carter Goodrich drawing right here. Here's another one of Carter Goodrich's designs. I just love his line work. I love how he pushes proportions. Here's one of my favorites by Carter Goodrich. This one right here. I actually saw this drawing in person in Paris. Oh, love it, love it. Yes. I would highly recommend The Art of Ratatouille. Another one of my top favorites is The Art of Zootopia. I am a huge fan of Cory Loftus. I love his designs. It does environments and characters and just like interiors of rooms and props, and a lot of his stuff is in this book and I just love it. Here's some of Cory Loftus's designs. Byron Howard, Shiun Kim. I love how Cory Loftus draws animals. I love how he draws animal hands. I think some of Mike Yamada stuff is in here too. He's another one of my favorites. There are shapes for like the police cars. Armand Serrano. Oh, this is one of my favorite pieces from the movie. This big environment here, that's by Cory Loftus. The character designs in this are just so great. This is just a really solid art book. If you love this movie, you will love this book. And just little details about how they made different animal species look the way they do and made them so appealing. I love it. I love that. It makes me want to draw animals. Okay, we are now in my top 5 art books. Monsters University. This movie, so beautiful. And the art for it's so beautiful. I love how colorful it is and fun. The whole like college vibe. There's artwork in here by Dai Sasumi. Ooh. Even stuff like background characters are really fun in these monsters movies because they can look totally crazy. For background characters, this whole page opens up. I enjoy designing monsters too, so this is really fun to look at. Character designs with monsters are just really fun because you can literally do anything. Here's another one of my favorite environments. This is by Shelley Wan. I really love like seeing painted story moments. One of my favorites. Next is the art of How to Train Your Dragon. One of my favorite movies. It is full of Nico Marley's character designs, and his character designs for the Dragon movies are some of my favorite character designs ever. And I think Shane Prickmore's designs are in here too. Oh, just look at that. This whole page is Nico Marley. Next is the art of Tangled. Of course, this is one of my top favorite art of books. There's nothing more to say. I mean, I've gone through this book so many times. It's full of Glenn Keane, Lisa Keane, Claire Keane. They talk about how they're inspired by Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. They use some similar compositions in this movie. Glenn Keane. They put so much of Glenn Keane's work in here. If you're like me, you've seen these like a million times. Also, Jin Kim, Claire Keane, Shiun Kim, Byron Howard. In case you didn't know, I worked on Tangled the series as a background painter for 4 years. So I looked through this book a lot. I've watched this movie so many times, and I actually just never get tired of it. I love this movie. Just gorgeous, gorgeous art in here. Next is the art of the Croods. This has some of the most gorgeous visual development I've ever seen for a movie. Look at these paintings. I love the lighting in this movie. Like here, this strong light coming from behind. This is the lighting I'm talking about, like on here and here. This has some of the most gorgeous environments. It has really interesting character designs. So many full pages of characters. Shane Prickmore also worked on this. I love Shane Prickmore's work. Shannon Tyndall worked on this. Carter Goodrich. Emma Stone is my favorite actress, so I really wanted to see this from the beginning because she is the voice of this character here. I actually watched this movie on a plane on one of those tiny screens, and I just really wanted to see the artwork bigger because it was just such a beautiful movie. I love the worlds that they built. Still only seen that movie once, but the art book is one of the best art books I've ever seen. For my last book, my #1 favorite art of book, The Art of Brave. I know a lot of people hated this movie. I loved this movie, and I don't care what anybody has to say about that. So, I have worn out this book from reading it so many times. This book has so many amazing designs by Carter Goodrich. Look at all those. Look at these pages. Matt Nolte. So many drawings by Carter Goodrich in here. Oh man. Oh, these are amazing drawings of Merida. I love this one. I just love it. I just love it. This is my favorite art of book, which is why I've just worn it out completely. This book came to France with me, so did The Art of Tangled. International travel with heavy books. It was worth it. Here's one of my favorite drawings. This one's by Matt Nolte. You can see so much about the characters, and I just love the design of the king too. Just how massive he is. I love the designs of the rock formations, the bears, the baby bears, the witch. There's even the storyboards. Merida climbing that rock wall. I just love it. That is my entire art book collection. Very slowly collected over time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Bye!